G'day John.
Hey Phil.
You well?
Always well, mate.
Fantastic. Good to hear.
Another 2 weeks, and there hasn't been a lot of action, Phil. It's been
No.
a relatively quiet time. Obviously, we've got a few interesting things happening in the next couple of weeks, but I suppose the biggest thing that's occurred in the last couple of weeks has been the latest day carnival.
Yep.
In the Riverland, and that was won by Salisbury. They beat Southeast 1. So yeah, great effort by them, and Sarah Moyahu actually finished top. So I think she only lost 3 frames. And yeah, Charlie Hatton had a very good trip too. She was in the Salisbury Salisbury 2, so they didn't make the final. But she played for SA1 for SA ladies. So, but yeah, she only lost 5 frames out of 18. So
That's excellent for the juniors.
Two young girls that could actually play pool and obviously stood out, you know, in pretty good company.
Yeah.
So yeah, good effort. Well done to the Salisbury team out of Crusoe's. They're all based out there. Dom's given me some stats which we can go through later on about their singles comp as well. So yeah, that's probably been the biggest event.
So Sarah would have been playing with her mum, Annette.
Sarah, Annette, yeah, they had a good team, good solid team. But yeah, very impressive. They had, I'm not sure how many teams in total, but it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just looking forward to seeing as many of those young girls that have played in the carnival trying out for the state team this year, because we really need to improve our standard on the ladies' side. You know,
Yeah.
considering our history in that event over the years, Phil. You know, we used to go away and we'd try and win everything. You know, last year we had an average result, and I think it's time for us to start trying to push through some youngsters and get them blooded at national level, and then get them excited about it. You know, until you've been, you don't understand how big a deal it is. And you go to the nationals and form, and that's the ultimate pressure we experience. Obviously, apart from going overseas to the champs, which probably brings me to my shirt. I forgot to mention this. Still, as you know.
Yeah, we didn't give you a chance. So let's finish the ladies off first.
Yeah. So that was a great effort, and well done to the Salisbury Association. Yeah, great effort, and you know, the Riverland's been strong supporters of the pool for a lot of years, and as you know, Berry's been a massive tournament for a long time. Well, the Riverland Open, it used to be prior to moving to Berry and being stationed at Berry since '88, in fact. So yeah, that's certainly our premier 8-ball event. We still get over 300 players, and I remember it peaked at 440 in 1 year. So back in the days when people used to travel a bit more, but it's still highly popular across multiple states. We always get people drop into Berry from all over the country. You know, the Queensland boys come down, NT, WA brought a bunch of players over 1 year. I remember Ron Kelly came over 1 year with a lot of players from WA. So yeah, the Riverlands certainly always had some great players coming out of there, a lot of state representation over the years, and I'm looking forward to seeing Tracy Alswager's girls.
Yeah.
A couple of young girls that have lots of potential, and she's assured me that they will be trying out for the state team this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing them produce down here, because what happened, I suppose, being from the country, people tend to become quite insular.
Yeah.
So the more you extend and play outside of your home ground, it takes a while to actually come to grips with the fact how good are you really. You know, until you're tested in deep water, we could call it. I think that we'll find that those girls will flourish. And I'm looking forward to seeing them develop over the years, because that's the one thing we've been missing at junior level, both male and female, unfortunately. You know, we're very lean in terms of what we've produced, and we're just fortunate that a lot of our established players are still playing and still representing us beautifully.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, but we can't keep relying on them. They're all getting older, and we just need to keep developing some youngsters.
Well, once again, congratulations, Salisbury ladies, on winning the tournament, and to Sarah and Charlie for polling so well in the single stats. And I haven't seen Sarah play for a couple of years, John, and she's obviously improved a lot since I last seen her. And maybe the fact that she went to the World Championships, and Annette going to the Black World Championships, and Charlie going to them World titles,
that's right.
Has made them better players. And
well, it's great conditioning, you know. I mean, you go overseas and you compete against, you know, the best around the world, then you realise that you do actually have some skills.
So excellent stuff, girls, and keep it up. And good to see that you're getting better and improving. Fantastic. Anyway, John, what about your shirt?
Back to the shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, traditionally I wear a Cuesport related shirt, Phil. But this is probably a byproduct of a Cuesports trip. 94, I was in the UK, and I've gone over to play in the World Champs. And because it was my first trip to the UK, my wife and I decided, well, we're going to make a holiday of it. So we took 5 weeks off. So we'll spend some time before and after, and we'll travel around. So it was actually after we left Manchester that we drove through Scotland. So we went up through Glasgow, came all the way around back through Edinburgh, and obviously when you're in Edinburgh, you've got to go to St Andrews. So I paid my tribute to the Mecca of golf at St Andrews, and this is the shirt I picked up from their pro shop.
Wow. Very impressive, John.
Well, purple's not normally my colour, but you know, I don't know why I chose this one, but you know, I did, and I managed to dig it out when I'm going through some of the shirts, and I've got obviously a massive amount of pool shirts I've collected over the years, but this one came out amongst them, and I thought, well, it's got a pool related story anyway.
So pool got you to the Mecca of golf?
It did. Yeah, well, I actually went to Man U that year too.
Okay.
Yeah, so went. I must find it now. I've got a Man U shirt there that I bought, just a polo, when I went out to Old Trafford. So look, that was probably one of the best holidays we've ever had. You know, we London initially, then over to Paris, and then back to Manchester, then all the way through Scotland, back through Wales, come back around through Wales, and back into London. Yeah, just absolutely fabulous trip.
Yeah, well, I know when I went there, I did the same thing, John. Not as expensive as yours, but as you know, I'm from England. But I went through Wales, and I was amazed how many castles were there, John. Like, it was unbelievable.
Well, my wife was just bored to tears with castles. Because I'd see a ruined castle, we'd have to stop.
Yeah.
And I'd go in there and I'd walk around, so I'd feel the vibe, you know. Because that's the one thing, being a Kiwi and living in Australia, in terms of we have great history, but it's how would you call it? It's prehistoric history. So we didn't have the wars. The castles. The castles are the most exciting thing. When you're a kid, all you ever want to do is go visit a castle. Yeah, because we've seen all the movies. Just to see the history of it. You know, there's a 1,000-year-old castles. Everyone there's so much history in the UK, and there was so much turbulence over the years. So there's all the various wars that occurred over the years, from the Vikings lobbing there and even prior to that. But it's amazing history, and I really enjoyed going back there. And I've had a couple of other trips since, but not as much time as I'd like to spend there, because there's just so much to see in a relatively condensed area. I mean, it's only the same size as New Zealand. Yeah. So you can get around. Yeah.
Well, on the our side of things, John, we got our first state title of the year starting tonight. We got the minor state billiards on.
Okay, cool.
So that's exciting for me. At
I think, if I remember correctly, Jason Hughes, the defending champ. Was that right?
No. I tipped him as a chance of winning it.
Oh, okay.
He didn't even know how to play billiards last year. He didn't even know what it was. But so for me, it's a fantastic time now. All the state titles start rolling on. So we've got the state minor tonight, and then in a few weeks' time we'll have the major state billiard title. But tonight we've got Adam Webber, the #1 seed, who won it a couple of years ago. Craig Heath, Roger Davey, all them, they're the 1, 2 and 3 seeds, and they've all won it over the last 3 years.
Okay.
Tannerag won it last year.
Okay.
He was in the tournament, but unfortunately he's had to pull out. So the fourth person going in the top 4 seeds is Peter Darby.
Oh, Dubs, yeah.
Yeah, so
he's the dabbles in a bit of billiards as well.
yeah, he's a bit like Jason, wants to play anything if there's a tournament on. So he played last year and lost in the semi-final. So he knows what's going on, and we've got 16 players. And when you take out Tab Abiakov, Cronus, and Peter Udich, all of a sudden that is an incredibly tight field, John. So,
Yes.
and that's why I said to you, I think Jason, you could cause some damage.
Yep. Well, he's won everything else. You know, that's what.
Yes. And I know this is not the state billiards, but last week in lineup, Jason Yu had a 141 break, which is amazing, and then he had a 140 and missed the black for a 147 at lineup. So
Okay.
all I mentioned that for, John, is because tonight I just feel that Jason is going to get on there and pot reds, and it's very hard for a snooker player to beat a billiard player. But Gavin Lomax did that here 4 or 5 years ago when he came here, just a snooker player, and all he did was just kept potting red.
Potting reds and go up the table, off spot, come down there.
And if you look at the breaks here, Gavin Lomax won it. They were like 45, 47, where he's potted one and got a cannon. But so Gavin won the state title off just potting reds, which that's a credit to what a great player Gavin is. But in this minor level, I think Jason has the capability of doing the same thing, because in that minor level, if you make a 40 break, that's a pretty good score. So I think Jason can comfortably get 10 reds.
Okay.
So of course he's learning the game, and he can go win off as well. It's not like he's a complete newbie and doesn't know any of the stuff, so he does. So I'm really excited about tonight, looking forward to it. So
Excellent.
that's our first state title of the year, John. So,
Okay, well, they're right, as you say, they seem to roll into each other now.
yeah, it starts
A
happening.
lot of activity happening. I mean, we don't start our state singles till May. Actually, I'll have to check, but we've still got Super League's only in its relative infancy. But this weekend, going away to one of your favourite events, mate.
Well, it'd be even better if I was going with you, John.
Well, we always love to have you along, Phil. And the old dogs in Hobart. We've got a very big field from SA going down there. So
Were you saying like the fifth of the field is from Adelaide?
yes,
Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it?
that is. I mean, and that's good. Because I mean, obviously the interest has been stimulated over the years too by the fact that you and Ace and Stacey have been successful in the event.
Yeah.
So everyone goes, oh, I might never go. So there's a good field. I mean, six of my team are going. Oh, sorry, five of my Super League side are going. So it gives you an idea of the average age of our Super League side, which is reduced dramatically by
The juniors.
by the 2 juniors we have. When I say junior, well, Jay's 31. And
Even at 31, it's still half the age of your team.
That's right too. But yeah, so we're going to have a good time. But yeah, certainly a really good roll up, and I think they're very excited. Unfortunately, playing world rules, as you know, when change occurs, it needs to be across the board in my eyes, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way they decided to roll that way, and we'll conform. But Tony Cannon, their president, has assured me that next season they'll be in their new venue, and they have ordered, I think it's 10 ultimate tables.
Okay, so it won't be there next year.
No, it won't be at the what do they call it? It's the Workers' Club.
Yeah, I thought it was an intimate, nice little place.
It is nice. It is nice, but the property's in the CBD, right in the heart. It's a very valuable piece of real estate, and they're struggling for membership. So they've actually sold the building.
Okay.
And I know it was a bit controversial. Some of the guys thought, why? But apparently they've made enough money out of the sale of the building to fund a long-term rental of a really nice property not that far out, and give them the amount of cash to be able to fund more events.
Yeah.
So they'll have all the supreme tables, and it looks like the game in general is moving in that direction.
Yeah.
And they'll have the perfect venue for it.
Wow.
So that'll probably be one of the few that actually is fully capable of running a whole event, all on the spring table. So that's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's my excitement for the week, mate. We leave on Friday. Most of us get there Friday. I think a few of the boys going over on Wednesday even. I think Nick Trick was going on Wednesday. But yeah, you know, we've got Ace, Della, Stacey, Lyndall, PK, and then from our side we've got JL, Calvin, Jason Ahmed, Darren Munchenberg, myself, James Brown, Nick Trick's going, and who was the other one? You mentioned someone else that I overlooked that was going down there as well.
Paul Hancock.
I think Paul Hancock. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was Paul Hancock. And Paul's sort of got excited about the game again. He's got his house back in order. You know, he's feeling a whole lot more healthier.
Yeah.
Still a bit lean. He'd like to put on a bit of weight, but in general, you know, he's always been a great cure. So yeah, he's going to have a good time, and he's always fun to be around. He's never short of a joke. Never short of a joke. And, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome weekend away.
I think so. Now I have got some stats here. Let me just go through this. Yeah, let's get rid of that one. And Dominic Crusoe from Crusoe's reached out to me last week after our last show and said, "Oh, John, you know, I'd like you to mention our stuff." And I said, "Well, I can only mention stuff that you give me the information." So he said, "Look, I'll make sure I get to this week." So he certainly has. And one of the things he was really keen to notify the general public about was their singles league, which ran for, I'm not sure now, let me see.
You had a pretty good field, like numbers wise and quality wise in that field, John.
Well, it had a very good field, but we'll run through the top four.
Yeah.
So obviously Gav Lomax finished top, so he had the highest score, which looked like a perfect. He had the only perfect score, won every match.
Okay.
So he picked up $2,500 for that one.
Fantastic money in this event.
Oh yeah, it was excellent money. And David Rothel, second, picked up $2,000, so he was happy with that too. Shane Cripps, good friend of ours, as you know, he went third, made $1,500. And Damo Walsh, playing good pool again. And yeah, he picked up $1,000. And obviously they went down the line, but I think you know those four in particular, all quality players and all and all former state players. And obviously with Gav being international, one of the I think I can't remember how many championships he's won with England, but he's certainly very happy now in South Australia, and we're happy to have him. You know, he's a real good bloke. Unfortunately, we don't get to see him as much as we'd like, but yeah, he's playing Super League this year, so they actually have got an excellent.
Slowly but surely, we'll drag him in.
We'll drag him in, and yeah, that sort of competition is what people need to see. You know, it's about everything we do. We can only aspire to be whatever we see. Whatever we think we get to a level when we play well, then we see someone go, wow, that was good.
Well, you know, that's probably a reason Damien Walsh is in the top four, because I've noticed Gavin's in a lot of Damien's sides, and I think they practice a lot together. So even I haven't seen Damien for a few years either, and when I seen that, I must admit, well done on making the top four, Damien. I was a bit shocked seeing Damien.
Yeah, well, he's always been a good player, but I think now what's happened is that having to practice with someone of that standard helps raise your game. It's like everything. So, you know, if you practice with people that you can beat up every week, it's not going to improve your game. You need someone that can punish you when you make a mistake, and it makes you improve your standard. And it certainly. I think that'd be a great benefit having Gav there. Well, just all the players.
So Gavin's definitely dragging them along, and lifting their game. So, fantastic for Dominic is that, like, the ladies winning the event.
Yeah, so he's had a lot of success out of there, and he did actually mention they put a couple of teams in for the Country Carnival, which is always in June. This year it's down at KI, and. As a committee member from Abassa, we've decided become part of the affiliates again. We've rejoined the Affiliates Association, and we're sending a team. First time in about 5 years, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, and that looks like it's made up the majority of Masters. We tried to actually make a compilation side out of Open and Masters, but most of our Open players are off because that's exactly the same weekend as Optical Kings in Canberra.
Yeah.
So Kings Cup, they call it over there, and Ace won it last year, and obviously Alex has done, well, I'm going back again. Yeah. Because he's not happy until he's won something 3 times. So yeah, he's going, Mikey's going, Jaden's going. So a lot of the guys that I would have expected to represent Abassa at the carnival aren't available.
Okay.
So in the end, we've got 4 Masters and one Open player. And the only Open player available was Daniel Porter. So yeah, it's really good to have Daniel there, and I'm sure it will help all of them. Got a bit of youth to keep you sparking, and from his side, a bit of wisdom around him. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a good side. But yeah, we can talk about the sides later on, but we're still a couple of months away. But look, that Carnival's always a lot of fun. I know I played in, let me see, 83 to about 2005, I think. Yeah. So, you know, I had my fair run of playing in the Carnival and loved it. You know, always a great weekend away, good pool. Standard was always really, really high, and it was very hard. I mean, we were always considered the favourites because you know we had a state team. Well, we had 2 state teams used to go and play, and you would have played in that a few times too.
What I find crazy was the year I won the state singles. That was like my first time I entered in the tournament, and winning it put you in that team, John.
Yeah.
So I went away with the SA team for that event. And that tournament started, and Steve Seabohm was in my team.
Yep.
And he wouldn't pot any balls. And I'm thinking, what? This is a bit weird. What is going on here? He wouldn't pot any balls, and he just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. Anyway, I didn't realise that there was awards for if you potted an 8-ball pot out, like at an 8-ball break. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Seabohm wouldn't pot any balls at all. But I didn't get it until the end. And I don't know what Steve was doing when he had someone totally in trouble. He just waited till he could pot all his 7 balls in the black, and he'd get a master break. Yeah, most wins a master break. So anyway, but that was a very long time ago now, John.
Yeah, well, that's right. You know, well, I think 2005 was my last one, and that might have been in the Riverland at Renmark, somewhere around there. I can't remember, but yeah, always a great time away, and you know, drink too much, play cards, gamble, all that. Yeah, but yeah, it's always good fun, and we catch up with a lot of guys from the country, you know, from far west, southeast. Obviously at Riverland, then Port Lincoln. So yeah, all just teams from all over the country. Cooper Pedy, we'll bring teams down, so all over the state rather. And yeah, just fantastic weekend at pool. And yeah, I'm trying to talk my wife into letting me go. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, that's coming up in June, second weekend of June. And then obviously we're going to have a lot more in between that. But that's probably about as much as we've got for this time.
It is, John. Like you said, it's been a bit quiet.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more activity next time. We'll have the results obviously from the old dogs. But yeah, to all of our fans out there, both of you, thanks for sharing time with us. And Phil,
always a pleasure, John.
All the best, mate.
Keep on playing. And good luck next week.
Yeah, thanks, mate.